as we saw earlier, California has a prime spot in this convention. It's the most populous state in the country, and it is, of course, the home state of Kamala Harris. And with us right now is another prominent Californian. That is Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. It is great to have you here at the table with us.
My pleasure. Thank you. Pretty exciting night.
I want to start with President Biden's speech last night, his valedictory speech where he defended his record. He made the case for Kamala Harris as not just the nominee, but for the country electing her president. And he said that he was stepping aside because he, in his view, had become a distraction. He did not seem to accept or agree with what some Democrats had said, that he could not win. Do you agree with that?
Well, the president made his decision on whatever basis, and we accept that and we respect that. I myself thought we needed a better campaign. My whole thing about, I'm a California Democratic Party chair, I know my politics, and I think when you want to win an election, you decide to win, and you make every decision in favor of winning. I didn't see that path. But there could be a path, and all we were asking for, show us the path.
When you look at that path ahead, and we've heard many people talk about the continuing impact and influence that President Biden can have on the campaign moving forward, where do you see him being most useful? Can you hear me okay? I know it's really loud in this hall.
What do I think is most...
Where do you think President Biden can be most useful? Which states in particular?
He has been. I think that the launch that they announced last week of the prescription drug prices coming down was very important. Before that, the freeing of the prisoners from overseas, the issues that relate to foreign policy, his strength. He is masterful in that regard, but also to talk about his own legacy in terms of where it's going to lead to. Look at what he did, the rescue package. The rescue package was remarkable. Child tax credit, pensions for our union workers, resources into cities, states, and counties, etc., without one Republican vote. The infrastructure, 13 Republican votes, but just fabulous across the board, across our country. And if it was really an infrastructure bill that was a climate bill as well. The chips and science bill, that's not only making us self-reliant on chips, but goes into the future in terms of science and STEM and all the rest of that. The PACT Act for our veterans, the IRA to save the planet, reduce the cost of it. The list goes on, but people don't know as much about it as they should, and much of it relates to their kitchen table. So I think he can be a voice with that. But it's all about, nobody votes for you because what you have done. They want to know what you're doing next, as we have discussed. So it's what about what comes next? And what comes next is a lot of our agenda that is connected to this, but it's a care economy agenda, and he knows it very well. This president has a vision, he has values, he has knowledge of the issues, he has empathy in his heart, he has strategic thinking about how this all would get done for what we did and also for what we will do. So I don't think he'll be a great messenger on a values-caring economy, as well as the foreign policy issues at the same time.
Your assessment that you thought Democrats needed a better campaign. What's your assessment then of this campaign and the Harris-Walz ability to win states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and even potentially Arizona and Nevada? Because this is still a tight race.
Well, as I say, I always say to every candidate, be yourself. You go out there, be yourself, do your thing. And we'll help with the 3 M's, on the ground, mobilization, to own the ground. Because all of the rest of us is a conversation unless you get out your vote. Early, get out your vote. Message has to be progressive and bold, but non-menacing. We need a unifying message for America. You need a unifying message for America. So mobilization, message, the money to get the job done, but that has, especially in the last few weeks, has just been flowing in at the small dollar level. So you just have to do your campaign. It is a campaign. It's a battle term, campaign. You have to go out there and fight. You have to work. It's going to be close. Today, my speeches, I was using the Olympics as a metaphor. Gold, silver, bronze, honor to be an Olympian within a second or half a second. So these are close races, and you have to go in to do everything because you have to have no wasted time, no underutilized resources, and no regrets the day after the election that you could have done more, get out the vote or messaging or whatever it takes. So I think the candidates, especially for president, and for the House, for president, they know she's been vice president. She's been part of this great legacy of Biden-Harris. Now we have to take what's next.
On this matter,
and we know.
Excuse me, sorry. On this matter of picking the right candidate, when Vice President Kamala Harris was settling on who would be her running mate, I was told by a number of people that Tim Walz was your pick.
Oh, no. No, I love
that wasn't
them all.
the case?
I said, put the names in a hat and pick one out. They're all great. You can't make a mistake.
Okay, I was going to ask what you saw in him that you might not
Well,
have
I
seen in other
do see
people.
plenty in him. That's why I thought his name could be in the hat. He is fabulous. I served 12 years with him in the Congress. And when he ran the first time, it was 06. This is when we were out to win the House. And we did. And so he had a terrible district. There were those who thought perhaps we should move on, but he was so great. He was so great. He and his wife were such a great candidate. So he turned a very red district blue, came there, bravely voted for the Affordable Care Act, despite the misrepresentations that Republicans were putting out there, and went home and won again, came back to Congress, became a champion on veterans issues when he became the top Democrat on the committee. The members love him. They respect him. He's so fabulous. They started organizing for him within minutes of his being named.
Madam Speaker, we should also say that we have Judy Woodruff joining our conversation seated next to you. I know you two have known each other for a very long time, on your own career paths, of course. But I wonder if we could take politics out of this for just a moment and take a moment to reflect on what we're seeing here. Democrat or Republican, we once again as a country are on the cusp of putting a woman in the highest office in the land. And I would love for each of you, if you don't mind, to reflect on that, on what it took to get here. You navigating your path in politics, Judy, you navigating yours covering politics, and how we arrived here, what this moment means.
Well, I can hear him better than I can hear you, but I think
Maybe Judy seated next to you can help.
Isn't Governor Pritzker wonderful? And the great weather he arranged.
Well, one question I actually would like to put to you is you had dealings with Kamala Harris, maybe as district attorney in San Francisco, attorney general of California, and then as a senator. What can you tell us about her leadership style?
Okay.
Is there, and people are going to make a big deal or not about whether she's a woman. Is that a factor here or not?
I don't think, I'm not, when I ran for speaker, I said, don't vote for me because I'm a woman, but don't vote against me because I'm a woman. I want you to know that I can get this job done, and that's what if I may transfer that to her. This is not about electing a woman president. This is about electing the best, strongest person. And I know her very well. I know her personally as a person of deep faith who cares about the community and demonstrated that all the time. I know her officially as a person very strong in her knowledge and her eloquence in talking about it as well. Politically, she's very astute. To win those races was not easy in California for district attorney, attorney general, then Senate. She had a race all the time. But you saw, and then vice president was, well, that's the president's selection. But you saw how, with grace and dignity, she came out of that announcement of the president, and with his support. That's a big deal. But nonetheless, clear the deck, because there was still room for people to get in. But she settled the matter early. So she has her own style about listening, learning, and respecting views. And you know, all of this is about the temperament of the person. And she has a beautiful temperament to be president. That is strong, respectful, values-based, visionary. I'm very excited about it. And I said to the women's groups, all day I'm speaking to groups, I said most of those groups today had a large number of women there. I'm not here to ask you to elect the next a woman president of the United States. I'm asking you to vote for Kamala Harris for president of the United States. Because I think that she has, what does leadership require? Vision, knowledge, judgment, strategic thinking, and a heart full of empathy for the people. Joe Biden has that. She has that. That's what they had in common.
Yeah, if we have time, you wrote in your book about how early on when you came to Congress and you were interested in moving up in leadership, some of the guys said to you, well, it's not really your turn.
Yeah.
And these guys, some of them were Democrats.
Oh, yeah,
so,
all of them.
In fact, all of them were Democrats. So what kind of, is there that kind of resistance that she's going to face anywhere in the party, in the country right now?
Not in the party.
Because she's a woman, as you faced a few decades ago.
Well, when I ran, they said, imagine this is in this century. Who said she could run? Light my fire, you poor baby. You think I'm waiting around for you to ask me to run? Anyway, here's how I see it. Hillary Clinton was the best qualified person to run for president in a generation. Better than her husband, better than Obama, and he admits that. Certainly better than George Bush. I haven't asked him that, but nonetheless, the best qualified. It didn't happen. It was a heartbreak to us. People, I don't think, had the full grasp of what the opposition was. But nonetheless, we know what he is now, right? We know what he is now. But Hillary, although she didn't win the election, she won the campaign. She took women all the way down the field. I always thought there'd be a woman president long before there'd be a woman speaker, because who said she could run, right? But I ran anyway and won. And then when Hillary didn't win, I was very disappointed. But Hillary's election, or that campaign, I think, has been a trailblazer for Kamala Harris. Separated by years, generation, all the rest, but nonetheless, I don't think that there's sufficient there are those who are never vote for a woman, but we're not waiting for never to happen. We're doing this right now. I think it has. Well, if we didn't think we could win with Kamala Harris, do you think we would put her up against somebody that should never set foot in the White House again, even for I don't know what, a cupcake?
I spoke with Gary Peters, who chairs the Senate Democratic campaign arm, and he said he's confident that Democrats can pick up 50 seats in the Senate, maybe even 51. Do you care to issue a prediction of how you think Democrats are going to do in terms of the House races? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking for a trifecta. I'm looking to win the White House, Chuck to be the majority leader, to Hakeem Jeffries to be the Speaker of the House. It must happen that way. And just think of January 6th if I didn't have the gavel. Hakeem must have the gavel that day. And Kamala will be the vice president that day. But we fully intend to win the White House. I was just in Michigan last week at the invitation of the governor. Our candidate for Senate there is way ahead. Take nothing for granted. We think we can pick up a seat there and hold what we have. I made a prediction today to Al Hunt that would be, he said, maybe you can win 5. I said, I want 10. He said, is that your prediction? I said, I want 10, at least. We won 31 when we won. Now remember, in the last election, They said we were going to lose 30 or 40 seats. What? They didn't know what they were talking about. We know we're different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win. Others are winning the whole country. 10.
Where do you pick up 10 seats, if I can ask?
Well, I think we can pick up a chunk in New York because we lost 5 last time, 5 in New York. We've already picked up 1 there. We can do something in California. I'd like to, we're 40 Democrats, 12 Republicans. I'd like to take them down to single digits. And then we have seats all over. We have fabulous, what we call red to blue candidates, and they are courageous and brave and out there and, again, strategic, informed, knowledgeable. And so, oh, she's wonderful.
I see you looking
a former
up at,
House member.
Yes, and that is, of course, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. We're going to take our audience to be able to listen to what she has to say. But Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi, thank you so much for coming by. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.